So this year is the year of the dragon, as Lee was saying at the top of the show. And I want to use this little segment now to just talk some more about the Sussex Dragons, what we're trying to achieve this year. So, the part of the reason why I started writing the book, or in my mind, the idea was to write a book and which tells my story, but also the story of how my uh, contribution to ensuring the legacy of trans rights for the Gen Xers, because I don't think we've done enough. So it's my own way of making a contribution, if you like. And so the creation of the Sussex Dragons was a really important step, I thought, and it is controversial because what I'm doing in creating the team is I'm creating it as a trans women's team. But we have spoken about this before. And if people haven't heard me talk about this before, and this is the first time you're hearing about it, let me explain. The RFU, when they made their decision to ban trans women from the women's game, they said there's only two categories. There's the male category, which is defined as people who were assigned male at birth. The female category is people who are assigned female at birth. There is a loophole, though, because as part of the whole misogynistic approach to rugby, that women are weaker and more frail than men. Men, or people assigned male at birth, which includes trans women, can't play with the women. But women can, if they want to, play with men. They can play in the men's category. So this is where I got to thinking about actually the best way forward is to create a team under that regulation, which is players who are assigned male at birth, which is all trans women, like it or not. for the time being, and probably for the foreseeable future, you will still only have two genders on your birth certificate. So if you're assigned male at birth, which is every trans woman, you can play in that category. But also, players who were assigned female at birth can play in that category. They just need sign off from their club to do so. So, what that means in simple terms is women can play with men. So, women can play on a trans women's team if it's a trans women's team, but trans women can't play on a women's team. But the end result is the same thing, is you have trans women and cis women playing together. And that's so the Sussex Dragons is all about how do we make that happen. And I've got two goals for this year. My first goal is to hold some kind of a tournament in memory of Brianna Ghey and in support of the charity that has been set up in her name, Peace in Mind. And I have had discussions with the charity, and they are they're basically, as long as you do all the work, you can put our name on it. That's fine. So that's my first goal. The second goal is to take a cohort of players to the Bingham Cup tournament, which is being held in Rome. I think September, October, somewhere there, maybe a bit earlier. I need to check the dates. So at this stage, we have a contingent of 4, but we've got time. And the idea is, I just figure if we build it, they will come. And if people know, if trans women know that there is somewhere where they can be accepted as a woman and play a game that is eminently available to women, with women, as a woman, that's the environment I want to create for them. The second goal, oh no, that was it, yeah. And then the third one is I still intend to launch legal action against the RFU. So that's still going to happen. We're just waiting for a bit of research to come through before we go on with that. And I think that's going to be significant research. So watch this space. But yeah, that's the plan. What do you think, Lee?
And finish the book and publish the book.
Yes, hopefully. Yes. Depends. The book is called The Road to Rome, a transgender story of adversity to triumph. So I guess it will depend on my definition of triumph. But yeah, that's on the list as well. What do you do you want to add anything?
Yeah. No, and I think what you're doing is, and we've discussed this privately before. It might be too late for you to benefit from playing rugby again, but you just want to make sure that there's this legacy for the youth who are disenfranchised and who are banned from playing. And we've spoken on the show about mental health and how fantastic it is for your mental health to be involved in sports and in teams and things like that. So yeah, that's what the dragons are there for, you know. It's going to go smoothly.
Cool. So any final thoughts? Do you want to sort of wrap up the show? I think it's been an interesting one considering we didn't really have an agenda.
I think 2024 is going to be a very, very interesting year. And I know a lot of people probably say that at the beginning of every year, but I really think this is going to be one of those years that's a tipping point because there's a lot going on, not only geopolitically, but there's just so much going on. And it's going to be a very interesting year to see how all this pans out.
Yeah, I said at the end of last year, I said I felt like this was going to be a good year, and I'm determined that it's going to be a good year. So with that,
Thanks.
thanks everybody for listening. It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from Lee.
Bye.
For the community.